You know, I had to do it for the Hamza video. Hamza got one thing wrong in his most important self-improvement video that's going to slow your personal development journey down by a couple months. Hey guys, it's Ethan, and after only recently overcoming the self-improvement depression stage myself, I've created this YouTube channel to help other young men in their personal development journeys of being in the self-improvement depression stage, of knowing all of the good habits you should be doing, but still not taking any consistent action, and helping you mature to get to this level where every day you can start saying and meaning it when you say, I love and respect myself. Hamza posted a video earlier today prompting us who are starting our self-improvement YouTube channels to criticize him on one piece of advice he's given. And there's one that I've been saving up for months, and I've just never thought to, make this kind of YouTube video until he prompted us with it. And I sincerely don't think that this is some sort of selfish mastermind, five-head genius marketing strategy of his, because he's telling the truth when he says the YouTube algorithm does love his name right now. He's not asking us to make videos for the whole cult marketing scheme thing he's got going on. He's 100% correct when he says that the YouTube algorithm is favoring him right now. I've actually realized this myself like a week ago when I was just looking at his videos, and look at the view count on some of them. Like, he's got 900K on videos I know had maybe 100K views like a month ago. And you'll notice that each day in the past month, he's been gaining like 1 to 2% of his subscribers in excess every single day. So he is popping off right now. And while his most important, or most popular, YouTube video by far was the aesthetic body course one, he has way at the start of his upload schedule. It's got 1 million views. I am certain that in the next 7 days, that video is going to be surpassed by one of these other ones of his that's popping off right now. Before we get started in the video, I want to make it clear that I love Hamza's content. I have purchased over $100 worth of the books he's recommended in his videos. I've got these books because of just how much I believe in him and his movement. I've been following him for almost exactly a year now, ever since his first sort of YouTube pop-off in spring of last year. And his whole channel, especially the unfiltered one, really has shaped the way that I want to take this channel here. All of this is to say, this is not a hateful video. In fact, it's really healthy when men can disagree on something, have a conversation about it, and then both come out of it for the wiser. So this video is full of love. So the most important piece of value that Hamza shared on his channel, to me, and I believe he said this himself, and you probably also believe this, is his magnum opus, the Dopamine Detox timetable. It makes so much sense. All of us can do it, and the Dopamine Detox timetable is literally what all of these CEOs of the big companies like Amazon, Facebook, etc., they all had to do so that they could get as successful as they are. Think of Jeff Bezos. Do you think that he ever, when building Amazon, was negotiating with himself in his inner monologue if he can budget in an extra hour of video games, anime, Netflix, porn, whatever? The answer is no. These high achievers scheduled every minute from sunrise to sunset so that they could get to the level to where they are. And I want you to eliminate any limiting beliefs that you may have that getting successful is any more complicated than this. If you can just stick to a productive timetable where your entire day is the habit, like Hamza outlined, and stay consistent with it, taking action for 6 months, 12 months, 18, etc., you will be successful eventually. Now, while this is not easy, it is simple. It's not complicated. You just pick 1 or 2 things, like 1 or 2 tree branches in your personal development, like let's say your fitness and your entrepreneurial idea, and then make all of your free time in the day all about those 2 things. If you're interested, I could make another video on how I implemented the dopamine detox in my personal life, having a very rigorous and legit corporate finance job downtown where I'm often working more than 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, where in Hamza's video, the template he provides is amazing, but it shows what it's like for somebody who already has the freedom to work their entire day as the dopamine detox habit. And, let me know in the comments if you're interested in how I did that with the 9 to 5, and that video is yours. Finally, it's time to share where in the dopamine detox video that I had a bone to pick with one of his unique pieces of advice, the one that only Hamza's ever said, in my experience, that you got to keep the prompts for your cravings that lead to the bad habits visible at all times, like keeping the junk food on your table, keeping the apps on your phone and the video games installed on your laptop, and also that you can build the willpower that comes with the progressive overload of daily seeing these prompts, not indulging in them, and that act being a rep in your willpower muscle. Now, this unique piece of advice sounds so badass, so I tried it. Unfortunately, maybe my dopamine addiction is just really bad, but I couldn't keep it consistent for more than 3 days at a time. I felt so frustrated when I lost against my lizard brain for like the 5th time in a day, opening Instagram on my phone to check if I had any messages, having no extra new messages since that 4th time that I had checked. And then on top of that disappointment, I would double kick myself for breaking this habit that I had committed to from this amazing sounding, unique piece of advice. After keeping this belief and trying to make this work for me for really 3 months, I just couldn't get it to stick consistently. I ultimately decided to follow the more conventional advice that Hamza advised against and deleted the social media apps off of my phone and installed website blockers on my laptop. His argument against the conventional way of dopamine detoxing like this is that whatever we're addicted to, we're ultimately going to be ruined by the root of this evil, which is our lack of willpower. Hamza says we're eventually going to go out and buy more alcohol, we're going to turn the website blockers off, we're going to reinstall all the apps on our phone and reinstall the games on our laptop later. And I'm going to admit this, he is right. I still check Instagram like once a week. I turn off the website blocker on my laptop, log in to see if there's any messages, reply, whatever. But the thing is, I'm satisfied with these days. I'm spending maybe 10 to 15 minutes on Instagram a week, when back when I was trying to do the habit of keeping them on my phone, I was still pushing like 4 hours a day. And it was really ruining my mental health, because not only the obvious of spending that much time on social media, but then again, I would kick myself and say, man, I can't stick to this at all. Like, what's wrong with me? And that kind of negative self-talk. The thing is that this conventional advice of deleting them off your phone, putting the website blockers, etc., is what ultimately is working for me. I deleted social medias off my phone and installed the website blockers, the YouTube distraction free, about a month ago. And very rarely am I turning the blocker off so I can check Instagram, like I said, once a week about. And I haven't once reinstalled the social medias on my phone, which I'm very happy about. And all the friends that are like close enough to matter, I just told them on Instagram or Facebook Messenger or text, guys, the thing I'm going to be checking is like phone calls and text messages. That's all I'm going to see. Don't like text me in some other way because I will not reply to it. And it's been working fine. I do want to give some credit though in that Hamza's unique way of doing this dopamine detox, of leaving the prompts to your negative cravings right in front of you and building that willpower that way. In theory, it does seem like that's the better solution for the long term, because you're building the willpower, which is going to explode your gains that you're going to have in many different areas of your life later down the line. In my personal experience, this conventional way of doing the dopamine detox with the website blockers and the deleting the apps and whatever, it has lower barriers to entry. You could start doing this right away and see how long you can last. Maybe you're just going to do it, delete them, and you'll go a month just like me with everything still deleted off your phone, right? In my personal experience, the conventional way to do the dopamine detox, where we're deleting the apps, we're making our phone like the grayscale color filter, we're putting the website blockers on, etc., is much more sustainable. And this is one I've kept up for a month now, when the other one I couldn't keep it up for a few days, right? I'm going to build my willpower in another way. One way that you may be able to relate to this conventional dopamine detox is if you have gotten onto what I believe is the first self-improvement habit, NoFap, in which you unfollow, unsubscribe from all of the channels and Instagram models that are triggering, like they make you horny when you watch their content. On Reddit, you unfollow like the risky Reddits. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Isn't that literally the conventional dopamine detox? You're removing the prompts to your bad habits, and so it helps you to make a sustainable good habit and avoid fapping or whatever your video game, your social media, whatever your bad habit is. The reason I mentioned in my comment on the Hamza Unfiltered channel video where he says to criticize him is because this unique piece of advice in the dopamine detox timetable video of keeping the prompts for your bad cravings just present all throughout your apartment or your house or whatever, is because in another one of his amazing videos called How to Become the Tribe Leader, like become popular in parentheses, he recommends in the first stage of your getting popular journey to read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, the entire message of the book is that if you let's say for example, you delete the social media apps off of your phone, you're making it less visible so you don't see the apps and want to click on them. And you also make it harder to do them. It's kind of annoying when you want to check your messages and you have that small little addiction craving, but then the whole process of you have to go to the app store, re-download it, re-sign in and everything, it makes it less attractive. And so for me in the past month, like my cravings honestly stopped in the first week of whenever I checked my phone to check messages, the apps weren't there. I was like, well, shit, I don't have to download them just to see that I haven't gotten any messages, right? So I put my phone down. It worked for me, the conventional advice. And this 1-for-1 is the opposite of the unique advice Hamza's given. And I realize I'm kind of stretching a little bit here. Like he didn't say, follow this for the advice that the book gives on staying away from your bad habits. If you go to the video itself, he specifically says, use the Atomic Habits book to develop good habits. So he's sort of speaking of the positive direction that the book goes instead of the negative. But it's just one parallel I've always struggled with because I followed his advice in that video, which is great. I went on the walks, did Audible. I even have a video of my own that gives very similar advice because of how well it worked for me. And because of how much I love the book Atomic Habits now, it really creates a contrast between when he gives this advice of leave the prompts there, and the book specifically says take out all the prompts in your house, like the junk food, toss it out, the alcohol, toss it out, things like that. And I struggled with this. I really thought, I was like, Hamza, you didn't see this this contradiction here, man? Like this is throwing me for a loop for months. Also, the second reason that I'm claiming Hamza sort of contradicted himself on this unique advice of keeping the prompts visible is that in his recent collabs with Iman Gadzi, he made those 3 videos that featured Iman, and one of them was linking to Iman's version of the dopamine detox called Monk Mode, which is what I'm trying to do right now, like quit caffeine, alcohol, things like that. And in Hamza's video linking to Iman's, he literally praises him for how great the instructions are on setting up his phone. Clean and boring are amazing. And literally when you go to Iman's video, the first thing he says is just delete all the social media apps on your phone and make it really boring, which is exactly against the keeping them on your phone idea that we had from earlier. All in all, this disconnect between the Atomic Habits book and Hamza's unique piece of advice caused me a lot of frustration for a couple months because I really did want to follow the detox exactly how Hamza outlined and build the willpower, do the reps of not doing my cravings and things like that. But the conventional tips for the dopamine detox are what have worked for me for the past month almost flawlessly. Delete the apps from your phone and laptop. Give your Steam account, your login credentials to one of your friends and ask them to change the password so it becomes blaringly obvious and painful for being ridiculed if you relapse and get back into the video game habits. This all culminates to say that I think the dopamine detox with the conventional advice we're all hearing of delete all the apps on your phone, delete the video games, delete the Netflix, the everything, unfollow all of the risky Reddit pages, everything like that, it does work in conjunction with the rest of the advice that Hamza gives in his dopamine detox video. If all of the hours in your day are scheduled towards getting, let's say, fitness in your entrepreneurial idea way to the next level, then you're already going to be so busy that there's no time for you to be reinstalling things and relapsing back into your bad habits really hard. If you like this video and you want to see more of a very small YouTuber who only started a month ago, hit the red subscribe button, and I highly advise you to hit the bell notifications so you can get reminded about sticking to your personal development journey. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment if you came from Hamza's video where I left that comment that I'm gonna make this one. And be sure to stick around on the channel because I'm planning to grow this thing until it's big enough to where Hamza and I can have our first collab. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.